Okay, if you have elderly parents, elderly relatives, maybe you're aging yourself, you're thinking about assisted living, you're thinking about nursing homes, you're thinking about wills, trusts, probate. There are so many things to think about, and it's not just for the old. You have to start planning early or planning for your parents and for your loved ones, like keeping their money safe from scammers. That's why I'm so pleased to have on my referral list, by the way, which is very important. I've known them for a long time, Marco Chayet and Frank Danzo. Chayet and Danzo, they're elder law attorneys. Now, we've heard the expression elder law. That doesn't mean you just represent little elderly people.
That's right, Tom. An elder law attorney, the practice of elder law.
By the way, Marco Chayet.
Yes, thank you. Elder law is not defined by someone's age necessarily. It's not defined by an issue of law, but it's more defined by the aging process and issues that happen in the aging process. Things like estate planning, nursing home, capacity issues when you start to lose capacity and you have to have someone else make a decision for you by way of a power of attorney or a guardianship, perhaps a conservatorship. So elder law is an umbrella for many disciplines under the law, but it really has to do with the issues in the aging process.
Isn't it all about preserving your rights and your desires as you age? Is that what it is, if you summed it up?
Without fail. We don't lose our rights as our capacity gets diminished, whether it be by Alzheimer's, a catastrophic accident, and it's very important to get our wishes down on paper with an estate plan to make sure that if something happens to us that we can't make a decision for ourselves, that our loved ones, our friends, our trusted advisors know what to do with a financial decision or a medical decision.
And even if we don't have a lot of money, we want our will to be known. So what is a will? It's a will. It's what you want, but is it only after death?
Well, a will only comes into play after death. My partner Frank is our estate planner. I'll let Frank go with some of the wills.
Sure. A will is just a document that allows you to specify who you want to be in charge of your estate when you pass away and where you want your things to go.
Okay, so is that where you name a personal representative?
That's correct. In Colorado, the term is personal representative. Most people know it as your executor.
And what is a conservator?
A conservator is more back to Marco's area, but it's a person who will actually manage your assets while you're alive and help make sure that those are preserved for your care and spent wisely while you're alive.
One thing for your viewers to know, a will only comes alive, if you will, when you're gone.
Right.
This is when you've passed away. If you lose capacity and you need someone to make a decision for yourself, there's two ways to do that in Colorado. You can execute a financial power of attorney for financial decisions, medical power of attorney for medical decisions. If we don't have those documents in place, you may have to go into court and get a guardianship or a conservatorship, which is a court-appointed person to make medical and financial decisions for you.
That's court-appointed, but you can appoint someone yourself.
You can through your agent, excuse me, under your medical or financial power of attorney. And that's the important point for your viewers to understand. We want to make these decisions now when we have the capacity to make them. You're only going into court to have a guardian or a conservator appointed when there have been no wishes stated or there's a problem within, let's say, your family with who should make a decision. And you're putting those decisions as to who should be a guardian conservator into the hands of a judge.
So you should make the decision on your own instead of leaving it to the courts for medical power of attorney and financial power of attorney. But let's talk about probate. So many times I get calls from people who say, Tom, I just lost my father or my mother. What do I have to do? People don't know what to do. And you have this book, How to Protect Your Family's Assets from Devastating Nursing Home Costs. Yes. This is a good one. But there should be a book, What Happens When Someone Dies? What do you do when someone dies? What is probate?
Well, probate is an administrative process through the courts to administer someone's estate.
Does that happen for everyone?
It doesn't happen for everyone. In fact, in Colorado, if you have an estate worth less than $50,000 and no real estate, you don't necessarily have to go through the probate process. There's also estate planning tools you can set up, such as trusts, so you can avoid the probate process. Now, that being said, Colorado does have a simplified probate process, meaning that it can be more paperwork than having to go into court as long as there's no complexities, high net worth estates, that sort of thing.
So what's the purpose of probate?
The purpose of probate is to make sure that your estate goes to the people that you want it to go to, make sure creditors, they have rights too, so they can file claims in a probate
to make sure the estate is settled.
To make sure the estate is settled and then moves on to the people that you've chosen.
Okay, so Frank, during someone's life, they can avoid probate by planning properly. So what is a trust?
That is correct, Tom. A trust is one of the many tools we can use in estate planning, and one of the main benefits that people often hear about is that it allows you to avoid probate.
And what is a trust?
A trust is a private contract that you create, and there are three parties to it. There is the creator or settlor, there is the trustee or manager, and then there's the beneficiary. And those three parties will then be involved in the trust going forward. But basically, it's a private contract that allows you to create a plan to say who's in charge and what do we do to take care of you and take care of your assets when something goes wrong.
And those trusts, once established, they automatically pass on to people without probate upon death?
A trust is a contract, so it's just like a contract. When you set up a contract with a CD at your bank that says, pay this CD upon my death to my named beneficiary, you can do the same thing with a trust. And if you have set that up in advance, you do not have to go through the probate process to clear title and remove it from your name because it does it automatically.
There are so many aspects of elder law. We just scratched the surface.
Right.
If we talked about medical directives, for example. Now, that's different than a will, and that's different than a medical power of attorney.
Well, no, a medical power of attorney will contain your advanced directives in it.
But you make those directives,
exactly.
Right?
So end-of-life decisions. So about if you're in a terminal condition or an irreversible coma, do you want life-sustaining measures to be withdrawn if they've already been instituted or not started at all? Your viewers probably remember things like the Terry Schiavo case.
Yes.
The problem with the Terry Schiavo case is that she didn't have her wishes down in something like a medical power of attorney, and then you had various factions of the families having an opinion as to what should happen to her.
How old should people be when they start this process?
Well, you know, that's a great question. It doesn't matter your socioeconomic circumstance to have an estate plan. You need three things, and you should do it, you know, I would say start in your 30s or 40s. You need a way to pass your property upon death, a will or a trust, a way to make a medical decision, a medical power of attorney, and a way to make a financial decision, a financial power of attorney. And they should be durable powers of attorney, which means they survive your incapacity. That's the whole point.
Okay, I'll tell you, I have a million questions. This is a great segment. Chayet and Danzo have a team of elder law attorneys right now at the Help Center. If you have any questions about death and trusts and probate and wills, medical power of attorneys, financial power of attorneys, 303-771-HELP, 303-771-4357. I can think of hundreds of questions myself. And they're part of my referral list, by the way, at referrallist.com, and also part of My Guardian Network that we're starting as advocates for the elderly. Chayet and Danzo, 303-355-8500. When they're not here, please take that down and know that you can get a hold of them directly for any of these critical issues. 303-355-8500, Colorado, elderlaw.com. That says it all, Colorado, elderlaw.com. But please, for the rest of the hour, 303-771-HELP. If you have any questions on trusts, estate planning, wills, powers of attorney, or any issues having to do with elder law, please give them a call, including long-term care. And then I'm going to plug their book a little later there, Jen, How to Protect Your Family from Nursing Home Costs. Paula?
All right, still to come, a lawsuit going after a 4-year-old for negligence, how this extreme case could affect you and your kids. And protecting your gutters now means you won't have to clean them or climb a ladder ever again.